Woo! Welcome, everyone. ZLS. What number is this? 058. That's crazy. Awesome to see folks in chat. Awesome to be here on a Friday. I'm feeling good on a Friday. So today I wanted to just look at some stuff for creating a blog. We've had Aaron on in the past, Aaron Frost in the past, and let's pull up the Scully docs actually while we're talking about this. It'll be cool. So yeah, Scully is this really cool solution for taking Angular apps, and it's really neat the way it all works. And make sure to check out the episode with Aaron if this is interesting to you. But yeah, the idea for Scully is to create Jamstack apps just with Angular. So kind of like putting an additional layer on top where you have an Angular application or an Angular site, and then you like put on just like bolt on Scully, and you get Jamstack, and you get like really good Lighthouse scores, and if you're doing like big enterprise stuff, you can save a lot of money with your hosting and stuff like that. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so the thing that intrigued me as I was looking through the docs here was that there's a section for creating a blog. So I went ahead and did some of this stuff, and I've got some of it to show now. I figure we can probably just show where I'm at, and then maybe we can do a little bit of live coding, showing, making some changes to stuff as we go. So let me start by just explaining some of the code base. So let's see if I can do that. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, smaller. And let's see, what do we want to look at first? So just to sort of explain some of the application here, let's run good old npx dep graph. I don't think this was super exciting. I think right now there's just a few things on this. So let's just select all. Yeah, this is very unexciting at the moment. So yeah, we've got the ZachDev project here, and we've got a lazy loaded blog that's coming in. So I've been working on zachderoze.dev, a domain I've had for like a year now without doing anything with it. But I've always wanted to have a site that I can point people to, where I could put blog posts and maybe a newsletter or some interesting stuff like that. So, and I've seen like Yuri from Narwhal has a great site that does similar things. Sam Julien has had on the show before, has a really cool site that's super simple, in a really good way. And yeah, I really like it. So trying to be like those guys. trying to be cool like them. So yeah, the idea is, I think, like if I get the zachderoze.dev to where I want it to be, I'll also have like some links for, you know, showing the ZLS schedule, so upcoming live events, upcoming guests, stuff like talks I've done, getting them all organized and into one place, and blogs and all that stuff. So blog is kind of the first node of this graph, and I think hopefully we'd see some more come in later on. Now let's take a look at how this looks like in it. I think the best place to look at first would be like the app module, because this will show our routing. Let's put this down. Let's get rid of the terminal. So yeah, we have a home component that's going to come in when you first launch it. And let's see if we can look at that real quick. So this is, I'm actually serving this with Scully right now. So we'll be able to see some stuff there, but not super pretty yet. Never said CSS was my strong point, and I'll never pretend that it is. But got some stuff here. Got a little like opening blog, snippet, and we've got our little blog thing, link to our blog up top. And so if we look at our component, well, if we look at our app component rather, maybe that's the better thing to look at. We just got some semantics here for a header with the nav inside. So you'll see, here's some of the ideas coming up later. But for now, we just have the blog, and we got my face in there, so that's nice. That's always nice. But yeah, looking at our module, we've got some NGRX stuff. I'll just take a quick look at that in a second. But the big thing here is adding the Scully lib module, which I think is going to, I don't know if we're using that here. I think I'm wanting to make sure it's in the actual app module so that we can be sure it's loaded by the time any lazy loaded things happen. So looking at our blog libs though, this is where things kind of get interesting and Scully-ish. So we've got our normal source like we would normally with any NX workspace. But we've also got this sort of the content file here. And I set this up with a couple test blogs here. And we'll see our test blogs. They start out with some like metadata here, which we'll be using inside of our app. And I've worked with Jekyll before. I've never done really Gatsby, but being able to use like Git, if you already have that skill set, makes for, in my opinion, really, really, really nice content management. If you're like familiar and comfortable, and especially if it's like, I don't know, something about it being only you makes that like easier to work with, which it's a personal blog, so would be cool. So pretty much the idea would be if I create a blog, I would create a new markdown file inside of here and stick it in, and that would pretty much be it. Kind of letting the everything be driven from there. So looking at our blog module here, see we've got the Scully lib module here again. I'm not sure. I probably don't need it. I'm thinking in my app module. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. Maybe we can check that out live in a little bit. But we'll see. Coming in, we're catching just the blank path and setting it to the blog home. And if we do see a slug, though, we're going to send them instead to the blog component. Just looking at these two components, blog home first off. We're going to, let's change this up a little bit. We'll just say, I don't know, H2. I don't know if there's an H1 on there yet, but we'll clean that up later. And say blogs. Let's save that. And I don't know if that'll actually be, yeah, it's not actually updated yet. I think it's because I need to run some Scully stuff. Let's see. Looking at the processes, let's actually kill these so we can actually see what needs to be done. So I have the command to run Scully serve here. I think in the one terminal, I'm going to just do npm run Scully with -- scan. This is going to go through and look at the, well, it's pretty much going to stand up my app in, let's actually close this one out for now. So we can just focus on this one for a second. So by running this command, I'm pretty much telling Scully to run and to scan for more documents. So what's going to happen is Scully's going to check to see my recent build. So that's maybe a preliminary step. Normally you'd want to build off of before you'd run Scully, but I just recently ran the build. Let's rerun it there because that change wouldn't be there. So I'm going to do nx build -- watch. So this will essentially watch for any changes in my project, and if I make any changes, it's just going to run a live build. And very small project right now, and there's no prod on here or anything, so this will happen really fast. And then I think what I want to do is I want to run npm run Scully scan. I wonder if I can watch. I feel like I could watch here. See if that works. I know when Aaron was showing me, we were doing something with a watch, but we'll see. Okay, so that went through, and it didn't watch. It's completed, but it's all right. So what this did, because we had run. Oh, maybe I need a dash there. Okay, let's try that. Give that a shot. Oh, error in use. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. Code and then retry it. That work? I wonder if it's because the watch is in there. Let's just try with a scan. Okay, that looks like it's working. I'll have to ask Aaron how he did it before, because we definitely had it where like I was making a change, and the change would cause a new build, and the new build spawning would cause Scully to rescan kind of and make sure that we hadn't missed anything. So, but looking at stuff here, the idea is that Scully's going to pretty much just look inside of our apps for what we built. And this is kind of like the stuff that gets sent out to the browser. Like if you're ever hosting your stuff, this dist file is what you host, right? So what Scully's going to do is it's going to stand up. Oh, what's the name of that? I'm blanking on the name. It's not protractor. What's the name of that? The name of the thing where you can stand up like a virtual browser. What's that? Let's see if I can Google it. I'm just massively blanking on the name right now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's in the Scully documentation here. Let's see. Scully's the best site generator. Puppeteer. I didn't see it on here, but it just came to me. It's Puppeteer. Yeah, so we're going to stand up Puppeteer. We're going to like serve all the things in this dist file. And Scully's essentially going to crawl it and find all the different routes we have in here. So we'll see this is kind of the results of that scan. So Scully's going to say, okay, let's take a copy of that, or let's kind of like stand it up, grab everything that it resulted in, and we're going to stick that in dist static. So we'll see if we look at dist static, there it is. This is all the stuff in here, and yeah, it's just like these are the results of what happens when we stood up that app. And when our browser then hits one of these, and I'll have to do a serve here. So I'll do npm run Scully serve. Hit that. And then we should see If I reload this, what happens is, and you may have seen like just a little bit of a flash there, but the idea is that when you stand this up, Scully is going to immediately serve like that static HTML, and after so immediately we're going to see that, and we'll see super quick startup times and interactive times and all the stuff Lighthouse is looking for. But simultaneously with that, we're going to go out and load all the Angular, like the big JavaScript chunks that are coming in. So it's like we'll do a little switcheroo while people aren't watching. But yeah, go into any of these, we can see we're pretty much just building out all those static pieces of content, and it's being generated into our app. So cool. And looking at our code here, so we can see inside of the blog home component. The idea here right now, it's a super simple UI. If we go to blog home, so just we're on blogs here. So there's our H2 we just put in there, and then here's a just like a unordered list of the different blogs we've got out there so far. And here's just like a dump of that data. So we can see the data here, all the stuff we can see here is just JSONs of the metadata we were putting in the tags inside of the markdown file. I think this is YAML here. So yeah, it's just we have access to all of that. And the way we get access to all of that, if we look at the TypeScript for our blog home component, it's pretty simple stuff here. So we just inject the Scully route service, and then I think there's several things available on the Scully route service. If I do yeah, it's like there's a couple options here. I'm actually not sure what the different options relate to, but I know if we take all of the available routes and then we filter that out. I don't know why I need this filter here. So this is filtering out an array such that it's an array. So the observable won't emit unless the array at least has something inside of it that's not falsy, right? So I guess that's truthy. I think this was maybe to prevent, if we came back to it, like having some error occur. I don't know. But then we are, oh wait, no. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Okay, and then we're mapping our array of links to just filter out to only include published blogs. So I think if I did something here, so right now we have this kind of published Boolean, and we can see with it published set to true, we can see it in our list. We can actually like go to it. But if I were to make this false, for example, that RxJS code we were just looking at here is going to pick up on that and remove it from our array. So I think to run this, the build already ran. I think I need to rerun Scully scan. And maybe I can keep the serve going. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it hasn't picked up on it yet. Well, actually, let's try refreshing. Oh yeah, that's all we needed to do. Apparently, I'm still getting used to like the workflow of it all, but that looked like it worked pretty well. So we updated some of the information on the markdown file here, set published to false, and that removed it from the our list of blogs. So very cool. I actually wonder, let's see if I try to hit /test, I think it's probably no magic there. It's just that I could probably still hit it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. But if I go to Zach, we'll get it. So that was the name of my other blog. Let's look at this. So a slug. Interesting. It looks like Scully added this in here because published was set to false. If I set this back to true, let's do that. Hit save. See if I refresh on blog. Okay. Was not expecting that. That's okay. Okay, so we got the error message. It's not provided in Scully routes JSON. Let's see if we can find that in Scully routes JSON. Let's see. Seems like it's there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try refreshing again. Maybe we got it in the middle of the serve. Let's just try hitting the normal. Okay, that worked. This works, but if I refresh here, There must be something about the serve that didn't catch it. Let's try rerunning. We'll do a scan first and then rerun, and then we should definitely see it. See it come back. Started ZLS servers in the background. Go find all routes, put them into there. And now we'll run the serve. Perfect. Like I said, when I was working on this with Aaron, definitely had a nicer workflow there, to where everything was just like refreshing automatically. So I'll look to figure out what we were doing differently then. But yeah, we can see now if we refresh here, we're getting it. We're getting the static stuff first. You go into our test article. You go to Zach. Very cool. So yeah, I think that's most of the interesting stuff. I definitely want to have better styles around this, but it's fun just like seeing this at play and just seeing, okay, all I need to do is like add some markdown file as I'm making this blog, and it'll make things easier. So going into the blog component. So the blog component isn't doing much. We got this paragraph here saying blog works. We got H2 for the date published. So it's kind of just was making sure that all the metadata is working as expected. So we can see here, it says December 13th, 2002. I believe that's in the metadata here. Yeah. Wait, is that right? December 13th? Wonder if there's some weird timestamp stuff that's making that off by a day. But yeah, seems pretty cool. Inside of the blog component here, there's actually some interesting stuff happening here. Maybe we could check into that. So the and there's some interesting things I'm doing with the title service at the moment too. So the idea for the title service is just I don't know if y'all can see that very well. It's very small, but as we go around in the app, the title's changing. So you can see when we go to blogs, it says blogs, pipe, zachdorose.dev. We go to home, it's just the fire emoji with zachdorose.dev. And clicking into blog here and into one of these, you can see it goes to zach.dev. Actually, I don't own zach.dev. Someone else owns it. And they actually have a really cool blog there, so I can't be mad at it. But yeah, I originally wanted zach.dev, but I settled for zachdorose.dev. But we'll see the title service matches the title of the blog, and that's being just driven by that same metadata here for the title. And the way we're doing that for the blogs is actually right here. So let's actually fix that because we'll want to do something like data title. We'll put blogs pipe Sectorows.dev. That's probably too long for a title, actually, but I'm not mad at it right now. So taking this, so we're going off of the route definitions, which is right now it's based off the transfer state service, which is a Scully thing. So you can see we're importing that from the Scully stuff. So we're just going to say we're going to take the transfer state service and we're going to use Scully state, and we're calling this just route def in the cache, and we're going to say get our current route from Scully, and that'll give us I believe that gives us an observable of a Scully route. Yeah, so that's what our route def is, and then we're going to pipe onto that route def inside of our constructor and take it until we destroy the component, and we'll take that data and subscribe to it so we can set our title service. So pretty neat there. That date published observable we saw in our template, that's also being driven by that same route definition data. So you can see we're mapping that data to a date published, which I think, well, it's coming in as any, but that's I believe that's a JavaScript date right there. And so then we're just taking that using the date pipe to turn that into something human readable there. And then we're underneath that, we're just putting in the Scully content. So that's where anything below here would kind of go into. And there, I believe there's some stuff happening behind the scenes from Scully where it's taking our markdown and turning it to actual HTML. So I'll have to mess around with that a little bit so I can see. Let's try doing something here actually where we do like, I wonder if this is supported, where we'll have like a TypeScript file and we'll say constant foo is any equals bar. Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's stuff here already. But if we refresh, well, I think we'll have to restart the Scully serve. Or maybe not. We probably can just run Scully without scan because there's no new routes. I believe scan's just there to try to figure out new routes. But if we run Scully without that scan, it'll just oh, maybe it did still run it with routes. I don't know. Oh, no. It looked at the previous ones, the previous round. But then we'll run serve and we'll hit this. We should see it here. Did I not save? No, we saved. I don't know. Let's try another test line here. Sure, it's not just that. And let's cancel this. Run Scully. Boom, boom. Scully serve. And refresh. No, still not seeing it. Huh. Interesting. Oh, there it is. That was odd. I wonder if my browser was caching that actually. But yeah, we can see. I guess there's some stuff going on here, but it would be nice to get like some better and more unique stuff around just the way the code looks. So yeah, really cool stuff though. I've been enjoying it and looking forward to doing stuff on the blog. I'd love to figure out some stuff here too. So right now this is like very, very basic bare bones kind of stuff. But would be very interested to do something with like comments or claps, like you kind of feature parity with Medium. I really like their little clap functionality there. So I don't know. It's pretty easy to do like a site counter kind of thing on Firebase. So it would be cool to just let people do something where they like click on that clap button and see numbers go up. So yeah, it's kind of my ideas there. And I don't know, I'd love to have some sort of site down the road where we could have some place to share, or a place for me to at least share my blogs, but also to have some discussions. So do something with the comments section where we can actually have some meaningful conversations in there, and give people a place to drop some stuff. I've actually been watching Ben from Narwhal, Ben Cabanas, sent me, we send each other links of videos often. And recently I've been watching a lot of podcasts from Lex Fridman from Ben. And he's got some really interesting ideas on social media with with Twitter, especially, like talking about a version of Twitter where people don't just like be mean to each other. Like if there's a way to use like AI. So Lex, I think, is a big AI person. Teaches at MIT. Worked at Tesla, I believe, in the past too, in their AI division. But doing something with AI where you could like incentivize people to not be mean, or to like highlight or promote more the more thoughtful or the more positive comments, as opposed to comments that would be more likely to get reactions or more likely to just drive other stuff. So it would be really cool to try to figure out some stuff in that. But I'd sell for just a normal comment section for now on blogs. So at least if someone has some thoughts, they could share them. And yeah, got some other thoughts around this. Like I said, posting up a schedule for ZLS episodes and ZLS guests, and yeah, think it could make for a cool little website. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to share on that today. And another thing I've been super interested in recently, and yeah, this is just like kind of random, but I've come across a bunch of videos from Rich Hickey, who is the guy who does Clojure, which is, you know, a programming language that's based on some other paradigms. So like very much the declarative paradigm, and lots of parens, that kind of thing. And so watching a lot of interesting stuff from him. I actually haven't touched Clojure much, but a lot of his talks don't necessarily are directly related to Clojure. So like the stuff he's talking about, I think and yeah, and like easy and hard are two different things. So two different dimensions based on that. And yeah, just thinking about the difference between those and how we can write simple code and how we can make things easy for people inside of our APIs, that kind of thing. And he just makes a lot of sense to me. Like just listening to him, it's like, yes, obviously that's the way things should be. It's like thoughts I've had before, but not known exactly how to express, but known that they've been around, rattling around in my brain, and it's like as soon as he's saying it, it's like immediately things start resonating. So that's, yeah, it's cool to find different speakers like that, and to hear how they're able to inspire people and see it in myself. But to I don't know, to trying to take that to can I learn from them to be a good presenter, and take that all like to the next level. But yeah, was watching a bunch of stuff from Rich Hickey, and he had a talk on a new database that they're making called Datomic. Let's see if I can pull that up actually. Datomic, and we'll just look at their overview page for now. Let's see if I can share that. There we go. Oh, this is the Datomic Cloud. Let's see if there is something about, maybe if we go to documentation, I'll get to sort of like the interesting stuff in there. Displays key Datomic. Yeah, let's jump in there. So yeah, the Datomic Cloud is a distributed database that provides ACID transactions, flexible schema, powerful data log queries, and complete data history and SQL analytics supports. Datomic is highly available, scales horizontally, integrates with AWS, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the really interesting thing about the Datomic that really like piqued my interest, I think it's like a direct tie to the to like what struck me about like Jekyll, and what's kind of striking me about Scully, like what's kind of exciting is that like you're using you're just like latching on to Git as sort of like as a content management system or as a version control, at least, right? Which is a very robust tool for being able to do stuff. And you can kind of trace back by different commits and by different releases what's going on with all the, you know, a very, very discrete history of everything that's happening. And if you've ever worked with databases before, you'd think that you'd have something similar for a database, because it seems super important to have that history. But most of the time when I've worked with databases in the past, like it's more, well, if you want history or you want logging, you kind of gotta like have some sort of that and like bolt it on top. So, and it just, I don't know, it leads to this very odd state of affairs. Watching Rich talk about it, the sort of the idea is if you have I think he uses the word slot based databases, where you talk about a database having like different slots for different pieces, for the different pieces of data. So like if you have a table, right, and you have like something at an ID, you are like, you've got a slot for this thing, right? And when you query, you're taking a query and you're like perceiving, okay, what's in the slot at this moment. But then at any time, something about the object contained in that slot could change, and something like or just the thing contained in the slot could be completely swapped out for something completely new. And you don't really have much insight into that. You just kind of like get what you happen to get at the time, and that creates all different kinds of problems, like people wanting to do a lot of things in one trip because you're not sure. You kind of need to take a snapshot of like the whole database, because you're not sure if by the time you make your second request, if everything's going to be in the same state it was before. Yeah, it's super interesting to hear him talk about it. And there's definitely a lot of parallels, I think, between like NGRX that we use a lot in front end, that I really like. The idea of, you know, there's these actions coming through. I think the words they use when they talk about like the equivalent of an action is like a fact. Like the database doesn't just hold, well, one of the tenets I think is that the database represents a value. It's a large composite value of everything inside of the database, but at the end of the day, it is a value itself. Built up of all these all the different composites that build up the different tables or documents of the database. But similar to how in NGRX, I think like the actions are kind of the backbone of everything. Like the action stream will actually let you know, okay, this is all the different events that occurred inside of throughout the course of this app. Like being able to see, okay, these are all the different writes that occurred, and not only like these are the different writes, but this is the state or this is the value of the of a given like piece or the entire database at the time that this write was completed. Like in the databases I've worked with, database work I've done with in the past, it's like being able to do that kind of tracing it's like it seems like it would be super important, but it's something that's super difficult to do. And solutions I've worked with in the past, like we've just dumped massive like gigabytes upon gigabytes of logs into some logging database. So like an ancillary thing so that we can see, okay, what is all the different states and what are all the different reads and all the different writes that occurred at this database, usually for like compliance reasons. But it's like, it always feels like somewhere someone might want to retrace what the different states of all this stuff was based on that log. Like I think it's just kind of like logging hoarding. Like I don't think there's any good reason for that data, and I don't think there's anything any patterns we could really glean from that data. So it's just like you're hanging on to it because, well, maybe one day we'll want it. But even if we wanted to reconstruct that, it would be super hard to like kind of trace through every single log, the gigabytes of logs that have occurred from point A to point B to figure out what was the state of this database at the time. But to instead like have a system very much like Git, where you just say, well, we're going to separate this database into its different pieces, and we're going to just like have different commits kind of for each write, and we'll be able to at any point just have reads that just like watch the data and tell us, okay, we can kind of see if something changes based off that, or we could just have like take a look at when it happened. But that when is a really important factor, because if you can build in time to like a query, so I can say, well, what was in a SQL database, I feel like you could say, well, show me everything about the object in this table at this ID. And it'll tell you what it happens to be right now. But if we could take that same query and add an extra dimension on top of it and say, well, show me the data that was in this table at this ID and show me how it looked at 5 p.m. last Sunday. I feel like that's like a whole new level of power that comes with that, and being able, like if this was just a file inside of our code base and we were using, Git to track all of our changes, what we'd have instead is we'd be able to see not only that, but the entire history of the table. We'd see the entire history of that document as well, or that object being held inside of the table. So I don't know. Super interesting stuff. I'd really like to get into this a little bit more to see how it's like working with Datomic. It seems like it could lend itself pretty well to like some WebSocket kind of implementation, which, as y'all know, I'm very big on. Very much like WebSockets and that kind of push-based architecture. Let's see if we can dump in here. Maybe we can look at some more images. Looks like things are getting really foggy on Twitch. Hopefully that's just me. I apologize if it is. Maybe we're having some internet issues. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's looking fine. But yeah, I think with the stream looking so foggy, I don't know. I may just end it early here since we're having some technical difficulties today. But yeah, this is fun. Happy to show off some Scully stuff, just a little bit. Not a whole lot of cool stuff there, but as I go on, I'll look to inform y'all of any new Scully stuff I realize. I think I'm going to try to do like, along with the blog idea, maybe the first blog will be about how to create a blog in Scully. That'll be neat. And yeah, hope y'all have a great weekend. Hope y'all stay passionate about the things y'all are passionate about, and hope y'all find something new to be passionate about over this weekend too, and have a great weekend. And yeah, see everyone next week. We've got a lot of really cool guests next week, and I'll put some announcements on Twitter for when I get that all settled. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. Hope y'all have a good one. Bye now.